There was, you can't see me. There was 16 of these books. 16. And I'm getting rid of them. Hello. My name is Maggie Hughes, and I am a high school English teacher. I am currently on a journey to clean my classroom and get rid of all unnecessary items. I am using the Konmari method, which is from the book The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. That's super popular right now. She even has a show on Netflix. And I can say that it truly is life-changing. I've been doing my life at home and my life at school. Now, all that aside, I have already done my filing cabinet. I have done my closet / cabinet shelves, whatever you want to call it. And now I am on to probably the most difficult part for an English teacher, which is books. My bookshelves. So stop. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I've made a playlist with all of them together, so you can go back and watch those first, and then maybe come back to this one. So I guess the question is, why is this going to be difficult? Well, as an English teacher, I have many different books in my classroom. So let's go through what the books are. Normally I have textbooks. I have currently decided that I don't ever use the textbooks, so I've gotten rid of them out of my room. They're in the book room. I have my books, so like here. So I have resource books. These are like books from my college classes. These are like special versions of books that are just for me, and then like some junk down here, some dictionaries. So I have those. Then on the back two shelves, I have books that are for the kids. So I have books that I'm hoping they'll see and think they're really cool and want to check them out, like young adult lit and stuff like that. I have novel sets that we read in class. I have a giant collection of Holocaust novels for my sophomores to choose from, and then just some other books. So as I was saying, like, why is it difficult to get rid of the books? Well, that's because I think as an English teacher, you're always hoping that that one weird book is going to be the reason some kid wants to read. And the reality is, I don't really have a ton of kids that pick books off my bookshelf to read. I don't really do independent reading time because we have block classes that are only 80 minutes and I only have them for half a semester, so you don't have a ton of time, I feel like, for them to do independent reading. Yeah, and then like the novel sets and stuff, I mean, I don't have to keep them in my room. I could keep them in the book room until I'm ready to use them. The only problem is I don't have a key to the book room, so if I ever need to get in and out of there, I have to find someone with a key, and it's just not very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not easy, so it's easier to just keep them in the room. So with all that being said, I know this is going to be a difficult task because I like to keep books because they make me happy. I'm an English teacher. But I'm running out of space. And I've asked our school if I can have another bookshelf. And they've said, sure, if you can find one. And I can't find one. I don't have another bookshelf. And I refuse to buy one because. So my goal is I would like to get all of the books on one shelf. I do not want them stacked on top of each other, just in one line across. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to get rid of some, and I'm just going to have to come to terms with that. Also, if you're an English teacher and you're wondering, like, how does she have so many books? Well, the answer to that question is strategery. So, I get a lot of my books from places like Goodwill and thrift stores. I also, our public library does a lot of sales on either old books that they want to get rid of or books that people have donated for them to sell, and it's like, I don't know, like $5 or $10 for like a whole box, like a box. So I've got a lot from there. And then some of the books are from actually donors choose projects for novels. And then there was a website this summer or last year that was like, if you're in North Carolina in the Charlotte area and you have this kind of school, like a Title I school, and you want some books, let us know. And so I did, and evidently they only had a certain group, and like I made it, so I got like $200 worth of books. Yeah, I have a lot of books. So I'm wanting to really get rid of some that the kids never pick up. I have some that I've kept just because they weren't free. And then I have some that are in pretty bad condition that probably need to go. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do this shelf today. That's like my shelf. Because I feel like that's kind of like a whole different thing. But I don't know. Also, just for reference, this is exams week for us at the high school level. So I can't really spread out like I need to because kids are coming in to take exams and I can't just have like materials out everywhere. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. So this is the first bookshelf. This is the shorter bookshelf that I have. So it's like wider and shorter. And I'm just going to tell you what I kind of have on the shelf and like what I think needs to go and what needs to stay. And then I'm just going to do it. So this and this are class sets of novels that are mine. Like I own them. So they need to stay in here. Now they don't have to stay in these crates, but I can pack more into these and show them on the shelves. So that's an option. These are Holocaust novel sets, and they need to go down here. Because these are like kind of my multiples, and these are the Holocaust books that I have singles of. This is a set of a series of unfortunate events, which it just happened to be a full set, and I took them up on it because it's a set. But no one's going to read it, and that entire set takes up a lot of room. So I'm going to see if one of the other teachers at my school wants it. She has 9th graders, and it might be better for them. My Shel Silverstein books, which really need to go on my shelf because they're very personal to me. My Roald Dahl books, which are just my personal copies, but I have kind of like a box set. So I don't know. I don't really know. Here's a rubber band. It needs to go somewhere else. And then I have all of these. So this is from my mom taught in elementary school, and the librarian there was cleaning out their library. And so they had all of these books, and they are Bloomsbury books, children's classics. You can see they have the accelerated reader tag on them. And I took them because this is when I was trying to grow my library. Well, my library's kind of big now, and these are out of place. They don't really have anywhere to go. So what I'm thinking is if I get rid of this set and this set, that's almost a whole shelf empty. that can be filled with other things. So I think I'm going to start there. Okay. Okay, here's what I'm thinking for right now. I think I'm going to leave this and I'm going to move to the other one. Let's do it. So let's talk about the shelf. So first of all, it's not big enough. I really need 2 of these. But, yeah, so it's 5 shelves, like small. And I saw somebody on Instagram had like a color, like a rainbow shelf, and I was like, that's really cool. And so I copied it. Well, now the problem is, as you can see, I have a lot of blue and green books, but that shelf is full. So I don't think that really works. So I need to just go through these, and I need to get rid of some weird ones, I guess. And I'm hoping in getting rid of some of the weird ones that I have enough room for all of them to be on shelves. But I don't really know. This is going to be the tough part. So, yeah. I don't know. Also, I hate that kids shove their stuff in here. Let's talk for a second. So, the first thing is, I made room on the shelf for all of my books, novels that don't go in a specific place. And there's still room. So, that's exciting. The other thing is, I noticed that I have a lot of books on the shelf that are just random copies, non-matching copies of things I might teach in class. So I had them on the shelf because I thought, well, if the kid wants to read it, they can. But, like, you don't want them to read it before they have to read it again for a class or whatever. So I took those copies off of, like, things we teach. So, like, Scarlet Letter, Great Gatsby, stuff like that. I also went through and took off weird books. So when I was first trying to grow, like, my student library, I took anything and everything. And now that I have a bunch of newer books through, like, donations and finding them at Goodwill and stuff like that, I don't need those weird books because no one's picking them up and they're weird. So I'm getting rid of those. I also had a lot of books on there that are way below high school level. Now, I've kept some that are, chapter books that I feel like might be good for a really low kid. But, like, I don't need a copy of Mulan with all the pictures. Even though I like Mulan, I gotta get over it. Like, that doesn't need to be on the shelf. I had some things like I had Charlotte's Web and stuff like that. That's elementary school. That needs to go. I also had some books over there they're kind of like a nonfiction cool books. Like, they need to go on my shelf because they're mine. And then, like, if a kid wants to read it off of my shelf, then great. I'll let them borrow it. But nobody's picking it up over here. And also had some really weird books that, like, I had to buy in college and read for a class, which I didn't read, by the way. And I still passed the class. But They were on the shelf, and they sound... Okay, so first of all, let me just say, I didn't read them, so, like, I don't know if they're actually good or not. But the titles sound bad for the area that I'm in. So, you know, I'm in the Bible Belt, and I've got the Satanic Verses and Devil on the Cross on the shelf, and I can see a kid just freaking out. And I have no idea if they actually have to do with that, but I haven't read them. They're books from college. I don't see any of my kids picking them up, so, like, they need to go. And then I also was reminded when I was going through that there are a lot of books over there that I want to read. And one of my goals this year is to read 30 books this year. And I'm still on book 1. So I need to remember before I go out and buy the book that I probably have it here. So there's that. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to keep the books color-coded. Because it's going to take a lot of work to uncolor-code them. I don't know. I'm going to think on that. In the meantime, I'm going to go around and ask some of the other English teachers if they want some of these things. So now I have room on the shelves because, like, the books are falling over. How exciting! Also, I went ahead and put the stack of little kid books in the teacher's lounge because, like, a bunch of the teachers have kids, so, like, they could take them. And I also put the weird books in there just to see if anybody picks them up. Nobody picks them up. Within a week, which is my rule, then I get rid of them to, like, Goodwill or whatever. So now I finished pretty quickly, like, and I'm surprised. And I think it's just because I really knew that I needed all of this room. So now I gotta go work on my shelf. So while we're over here, let's just talk about some stuff. So down here on this bottom shelf, which you can't see, here is a class set, or kind of close to a class set, of dictionaries. Now, they were in this room when I got in here. And the year I got here was the first year that we became a 1-to-1 MacBook school. So these are unnecessary. The only time that I think I've had kids use them is when there's been a worksheet or something and I was like, you can't use your computer, and had like 2 kids ask for a dictionary. So that's a whole shelf of these that need to go back to the book room for someone else to use, because these are the nice copies. We have some dictionaries that are being held together by a duct tape. So I'm holding on to these and not using them, and that's not fair. I was thinking about keeping one, but I can't even tell. This is the first time I've probably picked this. This dictionary has been picked up in like 2 years. So I feel like if I really need one, I can go to one of the English teachers on either side of me and get one. There was, you can't see me. There was 16 of these books. 16. And I'm getting rid of them. Here's another funny thing. There were 2 things hidden either on top of this or behind that I've been looking for. And I couldn't see because I didn't bend down far enough to see. I thought I threw these away. So, that's good. Okay, so now let's look at the next shelf. So, this shelf has some children's books that my mom gave me. And I think we know the answer to that. Fun fact about me, I used to be obsessed with the presidents. Like when I was in elementary school and middle school, You know those like cutouts you can get for your room that are like bulletin board like decor of like famous people and stuff? I had that up in my room of all the presidents. And like I know a weird fact about all of them. Yeah, and also this book, as you can tell, it's falling apart because I read it all the time. These other things are not books. They're like stuff. And they really need to go somewhere. So like, I don't know. I guess I'll just move all the knickknacks down here for right now. I have another empty shelf. Some of these things need to go back on here, but I don't know. These are example notebooks, and I want to keep some of this up. This is my one from college. I'm keeping this one for sure. Yeah, so the problem is when I start a notebook with a class, I do like 3 pages and then I stop. And so then it's like a waste of a whole notebook. So the other thing that's funny about this project is it's kind of like a reflection of your whole teaching career, because you're like, oh, I bought this when I first started and I was going to use it every day and I've never used it. So this shelf. This shelf is all the books that they made us buy in college or that I've kept. And I don't need most of these. So let's go through them and see. Also, let me tell you a funny thing about this shelf. So, every time I move my room around, I think about moving the shelf, and then I remember whoever painted this room. Do you see how this one is very green, but this part right here is very white? Well, that's because, let me show you. Do you see up there, right there? They painted around the shelf. They couldn't even be bothered to move it. So if I ever move this shelf, there's a giant white strip on the wall. And this green paint was not chosen by the school, so they can't fix it. So this shelf is permanently here. So I'm going to start on these up here, and these are kind of weird because like there's things I want to keep mostly, but like I don't really know where they should go. So I guess I'll take my figurines down first. So if you're wondering why this is on the shelf, it's because I got this at Goodwill, and then when I opened it, it's signed by the author. And I have another copy on my back shelf, but I was like, I'm gonna keep this one up here. Okay, so I have like my books behind me, which is exciting, and then books I could teach, possibly, resource books, And then up there are some other things I need to go through. So technically, if I had it my perfect way, there would be nothing on top. So we'll try that next. Okay, so different day, different outfit, but I finally can finish what I need to do. So I got all of this done, and now I just have to do this top shelf, which some of the things can maybe go, but like all of these are books that we used when we did blackout poetry, so like they don't need to be on the shelf because they're like missing pages. So I'm gonna see if I can fit them in the cabinet, but then these have to go somewhere. So but then I'm doing a video.
Oh, for Tom's
Okay. So he's just like he's just like answering me. Here's a funny thing. So these have my poems in them, but I don't want them. They're like poetry anthologies of like student poets.
Like, did you make them or did your students in the past make them?
No, this is when I was a student.
I won't.
Hold on. Let me find me. Let me read you this terrible poem. $2.95. It's when I was in middle school. Ooh, I'm at the back of the book. That means it's not good. Here we go. I don't even want to read this. I'm tired of people using this furniture. Okay. So now we're going to work on this bookshelf. And I don't know what to do.
Sell the whole
So
bookshelf.
there's that. I'm not selling it. I'm rearranging things.
Oh.
Sorry for giving you good advice.
I was trying to decide if I wanted to leave the books color-coded because I didn't have room. But I'm thinking now I have enough room, and if I don't, then I'll just continue the row like onto the next row like this one. Okay, so I finished. So exciting. Yeah. I wish I wouldn't stare at me. Okay. So I had to take my jacket off because it's like 1,000,000 degrees in here. But anyways, I decided to keep it in the colored order. And if it bothers you because it's not in a Roy G. Biv, then you can come do it for me. So, we start with purple. Purple goes to blue. Blue goes to green. Tealish. Teal continues on to some more green. I guess that's not green. This is green. And then yellow, orange, red. And then if we move down, we have the continuation of red, black, more black, brown, tanny, yellow, and then some white at the bottom. And if you can't see, I got my little sign that says the end to go. at the end. How exciting. This is Poe, by the way, if you're just seeing his crotch, and it's kind of weird. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the other bookcase. Okay, so this is the other bookcase, and I got all of the Holocaust books to fit here on the top row. I did have to lay some on top, but it doesn't really bother me that much because I really want them all together, because when I have the kids pick them, I want them to be able to look at one shelf. Set of Night, set of Clay Marble, set of House on Mango Street, my set of yellow wallpaper, a doll's house, Milk and Honey, and then these are some that I have sets of, but they're at my house because I bought them this summer and I haven't brought them yet because I didn't have room for them, and now I have room. And then I got my H that lights up that I got from Michael's, and then some of my doodads. So not only did I get rid of some of the things I didn't need, but I also got to bring in the shelf of things that I actually need for next semester. And now we'll go look at my personal bookshelf. Okay, so this is the last one, my bookshelf, and
I'm
what?
sorry.
And I had the read letters that were on the back shelf. I decided to put up here because I want to keep myself from just stashing stuff up there. So I was like, I'll put a pretty thing up there. So that's up there. And these are teacher books. This is some resources, and then here are all like my workbooks and keys and stuff like that. And then here's all the books that I could possibly teach depending on that, and there's multiple copies, but I think they make more sense over here than over there on that bookshelf. And then if we go down, on this shelf, I've got just some of my books, and then like my little sign that's from Target. And then here's some more of my books that don't really go with anything. They're just mine that I like to have here. Maybe at some point I'll take them to my house, but right now they're good right there. And then this is kind of my knickknacks, like happy shelf, and the things are not like squeezed in other places, so this is a good place for them to be. I have my Think Mark bookmarks, my marbles that I give out when we read Clay Marble. These are my popsicle sticks that have like the numbers on them. I don't know why I'm holding it over here. For like if I need to pick a student and it's on like an old prom cup, so it has a purpose. Pretty pencils that I give out for rewards. This is my revising and editing flip guide, and then my evidence cards because I want to use them more, so I want them out in the open. And then I have 2 student textbooks, which I don't really use, but I realized I needed them this year, even though I got rid of them, because I need a student copy for when I photocopy it, and I don't make copies of the textbook. That would be dumb, but I do scan it and put it in Canvas for them. And then here are the dry erase like sleeves, and then here's some things I need to laminate. I don't laminate stuff very often, but like I'm laminating some student work samples, so I'm keeping them there with a sticky note that says laminate to remind me, so it's not on my desk or somewhere else it's not supposed to be. And then down at the bottom are some things I need because I'm sit chair, like classroom observation forms and some good reward tickets that like we haven't decided what to do with. They were in a box. I took them out of the box, put them on the shelf, and then I still have room at the bottom for something else. I have a couple other things that I think I don't know, I'm trying to decide if I want to keep them on the student shelf or over here. But I think for right now, I'm happy with the way that it is. And if I want to move stuff later on, I can. And yeah, so that's it. I did all the bookshelves. The blackout poetry books are going to go in my closet because I have space for them now. I had a couple other things that were on this shelf that can go in the closet now because there's room, or on the back bookshelf because there's room. So that's exciting because things actually have a place to be. So if you like this video, make sure you check out the other ones that are linked in the playlist because I have a whole Konmari classroom playlist. Next is going to be my desk. And really, the desk doesn't bother me that much because it's pretty organized except for a couple drawers. I know some people's desks are terrible, but mine's not that bad, so I think the desk will be easy.